Hey guys, I hope you're doing very well. Welcome back to another video, and today I want to talk about Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, I'm pretty hit and miss when it comes to Star Wars, so some of the Star Wars TV shows have had mixed reception for me. Well, more recently, the third season of The Mandalorian was pretty much a new low for the Star Wars franchise. I really didn't enjoy it at all. But when it comes to the video games in recent years, I have enjoyed. I've really enjoyed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order when that came out in 2019, I believe. That was a really fun game, and I've also really liked the Lego Star Wars game, the Skywalker Saga. So it was the complete Skywalker Saga from episode 1 to 9, and those games I really enjoyed. So when it came to Jedi Survivor, I was genuinely excited for this game, and I think the game is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, but I do think the technical issues with this game, I do think it has a big impact on the gameplay. Now, this game is literally set after the events of Jedi Fallen Order. I'll be really honest with you, I haven't played Jedi Fallen Order for a while, and I can't really remember everything that story wise what happened with that game. But you still pretty much follow Cal Kestis, who is the main character in the game, and I think overall the game itself, atmosphere wise, there's a lot that you could really do in this game. So there's a big open world of planets that you discover throughout the game, and really it just has a lot of exploration. So you would kind of go across many areas like caves, or you go into open lands, as well as you kind of meet some other characters in the game. So there's pretty much a lot of exploration you can do in the game, and I think atmosphere wise there is a lot, and it looks good. Also, I feel the thing that really made Jedi Fallen Order pretty good was how good the combat was. I really felt the combat in Jedi Fallen Order was really tight, and you pretty much can do anything that's really good in the Star Wars game. So you can parry enemies with your lightsaber, you can use the Force, you can attack enemies with your lightsaber, and in a number of different ways. And really, it's just had a lot of variety as well. Now, Jedi Survivor kind of follows that as well, but there's also new aspects to it. So now in Jedi Survivor, you can now equip stances. So the stances, what they allow you to do is you would have certain lightsaber stances you would have. So you can have either the single blade, you can also have a dual blade as well. You can also carry two lightsabers as well, so a dual wield. And there are also other ones where you have a lightsaber and a gun. And there's also one that looks like Kylo Ren's lightsaber, but that's kind of more of a sort of a heavy duty, heavy attack lightsaber. And they all have their own powers. And I felt using them, it did kind of have some differences. So examples that I could really give where I encountered a lot of enemies where they would use ranged weapons like guns. The dual wielded lightsaber, no, not dual wielded, the double sided lightsaber, it was very effective in making the blocks. So it allowed me to sort of deflect all of the bullets into hitting the enemies. But when you use the dual wielded lightsaber in normal combat, it's not as powerful compared to using a sort of like the Kylo Ren lightsaber, which can inflict more damage, but it will be more slow. So there are different sort of variety of stances you can get into this game. Now, I do think it helped, but I don't really think when you encounter some enemies in the game, it really impacts your overall skill, if that makes sense. So it was good that you had that sort of variety, but I never felt, it really translated into the enemies you encountered that would make a difference. And also with this game as well, you do have now different new improved skill trees as well. So also with these new lightsaber stances they all have their own skill tree that you unlocked as well. So you get the skill points, and you can really sort of use them to try and sort of upgrade your sort of attacks whilst using those stances. So there's also kind of an initiative to really sort of build up your character's progression and thinking about what sort of stances you might use more commonly and thinking about how you can upgrade that, when you come across encounters of enemies. Also, one thing I will say about the enemies, there are more variety as well. So it's not always like consistently that you're coming against stormtroopers. You also come up against droids as well as animals and creatures as well. And I think those sort of variety, it was kind of present in Jedi Fallen Order, but they also made it more prevalent in Jedi Survivor, and I think there's more of it compared to the last game. So I thought that was a very good thing that they really done with this new game. Also, what's also another thing that I have also come across playing the game as well is that you also have other characters in this game that also can help you. So certain characters will come into the game that will, basically assist you into trying to sort of help you out. So it kind of gives more what you would call impetus on focusing on other characters too that can really assist you in encountering enemies. So I think one of them was Merrin, was one of the people I've encountered that helped me out, and she would kind of use powers that would basically allow to create a grapple for Cal to use to sort of go up obstacles. So that was a very useful thing that I've encountered in the game as well. There's also some new things that they've also added to this game as well. They've also added perks as well. So you can also get perks in the game that allow you to increase your Force Essence. So basically your Force Essence will allow you to have, if you have more Force Essence, you could apply more forces, such as forcing enemies off by pushing them or pulling them, as well as doing lightsaber throws, so you can get more of that in the game. Also, you can increase attacks as well. So there are also some new sort of systems that they really added into this game, and they've also added some cool customizations as well. So you can now customize Cal as well as BD1, which I think is really cool. So definitely this game has more options for not just making Cal like just the one character himself, but you can really customize Cal and BD1 to your own. So it's kind of, you can really personalize him and really take on the campaign as you go along, which I think is really, really cool. So it seems that everything is positive. I like the open world exploration. I like the combat. I also like the enemy encounters and the variety. And there are certain skills that you can encounter when you come across different enemies. So everything seems perfect. But I do have to say that there is a big glaring issue with this game, and it's really a shame that many people have kind of left it unnoticed, but because it really does kind of affect the overall experience. Now, I know there are technical issues with this game, especially more prominent on PC. I was playing it on the Xbox Series X, and the issues are not as noticeable compared to PC, but there are still issues. So this game does have inconsistent frame rates, so I've been playing the game on performance mode, which should allow me to get 60 frames per second. And when I get across scenes in the game that require massive draw distances, or they're very graphically intense, you really don't get a good consistent frame rate. Sometimes it would feel like 30 frames, or it would just go below 30 frames. And when you encounter enemies, when you are in those sort of environments, the game feels very slow. So most of my blocks I try to do were very delayed. Even the attacks were very delayed as well, and it kind of hurts the fun from the game a little bit. So really, the performance and the technical issues with this game are prominent, and I do think as an optimized game, it's not the best, and it's certainly, I think throughout the games I played this year, it's definitely the worst optimized game this year. I have also played Hogwarts Legacy as well, which has bugs and issues, but they weren't really as bad when you encounter enemies in certain situations where it requires more graphics and more when you get into situations with larger draw distances and very graphically intensive. But in Jedi Survivor, they're more noticeable, and when you do come across those encounters, it really does affect your overall experience and feel of the game. So those are really my real issue with this game. That one issue is its performance, and if EA do fix it, I mean, it'll be. I think this game could be a perfect game, but it's a bit of a shame that they really didn't take the time, even when this game came out. It was also delayed as well. That they didn't focus really trying to make the game a more playable experience, not just on console but on PC as a whole. So that is one thing that I will have to say that I am very disappointed of with this game. But yeah, if I had to rate Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Now, everything I've said is perfect. I really have no complaints about it. But really, the performance of this game does, for me, make it the biggest aspect of why I can't give this game a higher rating. It really does affect the feel of the game. Now, whether they fix it or not, I'm sure the game, it could be a 9 out of 10 or above. But at the moment, the performance of this game really does hurt the experience of trying to play through the game, and it kind of lets me frustrated with certain encounters that I get into. But overall, this game is a very good Star Wars experience, no doubt about it. The planets are really cool. There's lots of exploration. I also think there's more side quests and things you could do in this game, which I haven't really got around doing as of yet, but certainly I'll try and get around doing. But yeah, there's a lot more to this game that what they've added from Jedi Fallen Order, and I think it's really, really impressive that they've done that. But hopefully, when EA can solve its technical issues and its performance from this game, I'm sure this could be really the complete Star Wars experience. And yeah, that's about it. See you later.